The Fascination of Evil. A look at history, culture, psychology, and spirituality. Evil has captivated humanity since the dawn of civilization. It manifests in brutal dictators who plunge entire nations into ruin, in fictional villains who fascinate us in films and literature, and in real crimes that cause profound social upheaval. But what makes evil so attractive? Why do people repeatedly revere or fear charismatic yet destructive personalities? Is it their apparent strength, their influence, or a deeply rooted psychological mechanism that compels us to acknowledge their power? Is evil a necessary counterbalance to good? Or is it a societal construct defined by moral judgments? We examine evil from historical, cultural, psychological, and spiritual perspectives, and analyze why it often holds a stronger allure than good. We also investigate why people are so easily deceived by evil, how its manifestations have evolved over history, and the role it plays in our collective consciousness. A historical perspective on evil. History is marked by oppression and violence. Great dictators like Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin claimed millions of lives, yet still found admirers. Many followed them out of fear, others out of ideological conviction or blind obedience. Totalitarian regimes demonstrate that people are often willing to accept power structures, even when they are inhumane. The famous Milgram experiment proves that many are prepared to carry out cruel orders when they come from an authority figure. Similarly, the Stanford prison experiment showed that under certain conditions, people can adopt sadistic behavior. Philosopher Hannah Arendt coined the term, the banality of evil. She observed that many Nazi perpetrators were not fanatical monsters, but bureaucrats who carried out their tasks without moral reflection. This demonstrates that evil is not always extraordinary, but often arises from conformity and a sense of duty. Evil in culture, from mythology to pop culture. Villains such as Satan in Christianity, Loki in Norse mythology, and Hades in Greek mythology appear in ancient myths. However, evil is not only condemned, but often glorified. In films and books, villains are often more charismatic than heroes. Characters like Darth Vader, the Joker, or Hannibal Lecter fascinate us because they break rules and wield power. The appeal of the forbidden plays a crucial role in our attraction to evil. The psychology of evil. Why do people fall under the spell of evil? One central aspect is the tendency to obey authority. Stanley Milgram's experiments showed that people often comply with orders, even when they are morally reprehensible. Another important psychological mechanism is cognitive dissonance. People suppress uncomfortable truths to protect their self-image. Many rationalize cruel actions as necessary or justified. The Dark Triad describes 3 personality traits commonly found in ruthless leaders: narcissism, self-admiration, and a strong need for approval; Machiavellianism, manipulative strategies to gain and maintain power; psychopathy, lack of empathy, impulsivity, and emotional detachment. People with these traits often succeed because they appear convincing. However, they frequently act without regard for others. Spiritual perspectives on evil. Many religions and philosophies have developed explanations for evil. While Christianity views evil as the work of the devil, Buddhism sees it as a consequence of ignorance and desire. Christianity, the battle between good and evil. In Christianity, evil is often associated with Satan, a fallen angel who seeks to lead people astray. However, evil is also seen as a test to strengthen faith. Buddhism, evil as an illusion. Buddhism does not consider evil an independent force, but rather a consequence of negative emotions such as greed, hatred, and ignorance. Through meditation and wisdom, one can overcome it. Hinduism, karma and dharma. In Hinduism, the concept of karma exists. Every action has consequences. Those who commit evil will eventually suffer. Dharma, on the other hand, represents the duty to act morally and righteously. Islam, responsibility and trial. Islam views evil as a test for humanity. The Quran describes Iblis, Satan, as a being that seeks to lead people away from the right path. However, each person has the responsibility to choose good over evil. These spiritual concepts show that evil is not only destructive, but can also contribute to personal growth and self-awareness. Cruelty and its denial. People tend to deny or downplay cruel acts. Many justify crimes as a necessary evil or ignore them out of convenience. Examples include Holocaust denial and the minimization of colonial violence. From a psychological perspective, cognitive dissonance is often at the root of this denial. People want to see themselves as moral beings and therefore block out uncomfortable truths. The need for critical thinking. Evil will always be a part of human society. However, through critical thinking, we can prevent ourselves from being deceived by it. Everyone should ask themselves, why do I admire certain personalities? Why do I justify certain actions? Only through awareness can we prevent history from repeating itself. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Edmund Burke. Thank you for being there. See you soon.